Okay, for our last demo of today, I just want to bring all the pieces together. So I brought in these claws. I want to modify them more. I'm going to lengthen them a little bit. But I'm using this template because it's got that great structure. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in the shell. And the seam of the shell. And remember, these are 3 different layers, but they're all linked together. So there we go. I'm going to set it right there. Even though they're all seamed together, I could still fit this in between some of them. So I'm informed by my sketch, but I'm not being a slave to my sketch. Instead, I'm just trying to get the same kind of energy, the same kind of silhouette. Shrink that back claw a little bit. So I did it too much. Let's try that again. Warp is nice when you need to isolate one area, but make sure that it's like rolling dough. You have to push and pull it in just the right ways so you don't lose what you had. Okay, and then like I've done with all my other layer groups, I need to cut out, get rid of all this information on this scorpion reference that's not at all helpful. But I actually like kind of shortening that shell, so I might remember that and end up cutting this a little bit. Using Magic Wand, select all this white. Might be fun to introduce a little bit of hairiness on the bottom, we'll see. Fairly roughly cutting it out right now so I can see it clearly, and then I'll refine all those artifacts when I'm doing all my final corrections. I like this front claw quite a bit. Okay, that turtle's getting in the way, right? But right now we're just getting all the different elements together. Putting the leg in there. Trying to connect it with the anatomy from our sketch and moving it back behind the shell. Way back. Huh. Way back. Or maybe not right now, actually. Let's keep it there. But of course, let's move these up above the shell again. Okay. And now the head. Now I haven't linked any of these. So how do you link something if there's a lot of complex elements to it? And there's a lot going on with that head. Well, turn off your background layer. And with your move tool, you can actually, like these are individual files on your desktop, you can draw a box. And anything that box touches, it will select. So this is another way to select multiple layers. And then I can use Command and delete certain layers from that. And then I can try moving it and see if it got everything. And sure enough, it got everything. So then I can link those together. And I can transform that head, shrink it in. And move those layers on top of everything. And here we go. It's nightmarish. I've got the pieces of my car roughly hewn together here. Now, I won't let you erase or modify beyond just simple transform tools when you have multiple layers selected. So then you need to select individual layers that way, but they are linked now, so if I did big transforms, they would still move together. And now I can cut away a lot of the information that's not going to be helpful. I want to keep as much information as I can, like tiling, doing shingles on a roof. You want a lot of texture underneath before you start blending things together. But there are certain things I definitely don't need. So from this turtle shell layer, which very little is showing right now, I can definitely erase a lot with a very big 100% opaque eraser, because I want some of that silhouette to show. And I might modify the shape of this shell a little bit so it's a little bit more matching with the rock. I haven't done much to modify the rock. I like that kind of wrinkliness. Yeah, I might be able to use a lot of this still. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to delete it away yet, because that's a lot of my neck fold. But for this, I can get rid of artifacts I don't need in the jaw. And I'm getting there. So this is a good example. The color doesn't match at all, the lighting doesn't match at all. And once I start messing with that to smooth everything out, for instance, the color balance and taking out some of the yellows, especially from the highlights. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. It's going to make a big difference in blending it in. Putting a little bit more red into it. You can start to see how that texture is going to help blend into the forearm here and the joint. I still don't have an eye. I'm going to do more with the claws. So let me try to get everything into just one place for right now. Roughly get these references out. For use later. And like any digital project, we could work endlessly on this, but we have deadlines for a reason. They motivate us. Try to make those hard decisions. So these claws are going to be kind of combinations of these two different claws, the scorpion and the crab claws together. And I think that's going to be a really effective tool. So for now, I'll just move them behind like so. And then this one is just to get a little less of an avocado texture off of this claw. So I'm just going to be using this foreground part. Well, maybe this too, actually. So another just rough cut, so I know where I'm heading. Remember, I'm trying to keep silhouette in mind. I'm trying to leave a lot of textural information intact to help transition one color, one texture into another next class. All right, so it looks like a mess, but it's a mess that I understand. And that's informed by my sketch. And if I need some of this shoulder, I still have this reference in there, which I can bring up and over to help moving that arm. So stacking your layers now as we end, making sure everything makes sense to you. And getting rid of any last bit that's just not at all needed. But not too much. All right. And what's so great about doing creature design, it's all organic. It's not like buildings or architecture. So you can have fun with mixing it up. Like if I want to, I can take this part of the crab claw and I can just rotate it out right within that same reference to give it a little bit more of an interesting shape. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave it for today. Save your work. If you were able, like I was, to move all of your reference in to be on top of your sketch, go ahead and crop it down to around your creature, so you're saving a lot of memory and processing space. And then next class, we will use what we know about layer adjustments of color, of lighting, and using clone stamp and erasers and lower opacities and blending these textures together so it all makes one believable creature. We'll also learn how to do what's called dodging and burning, where we can add in shadows and highlights once we have the whole creature refined. But right now, everything's pretty much exactly as it was taken from its source material. So I have, except for some transforming. So I have a lot more I can do. As I look at it, I'm realizing this jaw, it's cool and it's different, but it might be a little bit distracting from the other cool things I have going on for my creature. So I'm going to make a duplicate of that layer, turn off the layer behind, and see how I like it with just that tooth kind of erased out. And maybe this area filled in with content aware. So it's more like a typical jawline. And now I can see both of those options. And yeah, I think I like that better.